And so we're going to start this episode today going into what this incredibly brave crew member had to say. And her name is Didi De Stefano. And I'm guessing she was a production manager on Boy Meets World. This was so sad this morning because I woke up and she was first telling me it was the first AD and the second AD that she went to say Brian Peck is up to his same tricks again that I've seen. He's doing the same thing and it's not good. And she did the right thing. So let's just go into what was posted on this Facebook group. So here is Didi De Stefano, and she posted on Crew Stories Facebook group. I worked with Brian Peck for several years and suspected what he was doing. I reported him to my first AD. Several producers, the young actors on set, and their parents, and the showrunner, they all laughed at me and called me a drama queen because they loved Brian and refused to believe what I suspected. It put a wedge between me and my AD because he ceased trusting me and continued hiring Brian for shows and pilots. Brian was everyone's friend, but he knew I was suspicious of him when I joined the show at Nickelodeon and saw him there too, repeating his practices. I reported him yet again, and then I was never invited back to work on the show or any Nickelodeon productions. Drake Bell was a sweet, soft-spoken kid, and I didn't know well enough to confide in and warn, but Brian had already befriended him. Brian had also been scourging the young male background actors for years because they were innocent and believed his promises of fame. There are many more victims of this monster that are afraid to speak up. I was admonished when I spoke. However, Brian was rewarded, right? Always rewarded, and continued to work. But not Didi, right? Even after he was released from prison, he was supported and hired. There are many monsters around us, and they'll never be caught because of enablers. Enablers that I used to be close to, but helped Brian when he got out of prison. I only wish some of the dozens of background actors that were destroyed by Brian would finally speak up. At Drake Bell, you are a hero, and I ache for the pain you've been through. Be strong and keep talking and healing. Can you believe this? I mean, unbelievable, right? Unfrickin' believable. This bystander did the right thing. They went to multiple people. They reported, and they laughed at her, called her a drama queen, and didn't do anything about it. This is what happens all the time. So when people on the outside are going, why didn't anyone speak up? People were, but they were getting fired and let go of. While the predator, for example, just gets promoted, financially rewarded, moved around, protected, letters sent to defend them even when they're getting convicted and admitted to their crimes. This is the reality. And this is the problem. She said first AD and second AD, and of course, I had to ask, who was the first AD and the second AD that you went to at Nickelodeon? And just remember, I just really want to remind everyone before I even announce who the first AD was and who the second AD was, is that she was never brought back. The good people are never brought back when they speak up for others. The ones who are trying to protect people get punished. And so when I asked her, who was the first AD and the second AD? And this morning I saw that I had a DM and I braced myself. And I had to learn that one of the people I knew was going to be her. But the other person was somebody who I really liked on Zoe 101, who was an AD. He was like the nicest one on set. I don't even think he did that many episodes, but he was someone who I really liked. And he was always really nice to everyone. And to learn that it was Steve, the second AD, who everyone loved, got this complaint and didn't do anything about it, didn't protect the children, didn't protect the victim. Obviously now that has come forward against Brian Peck. But guess who the first person was? The first AD. Beth Carell, the one who wrote the letter defending Brian Peck. 2 letters. To be exact, and even mentioned, Drake Bell's name, said he was fine. He's gonna be okay. Because Beth knows best, right? Beth knew best so much so that she knew about complaints about Brian Peck, not only just from Drake Bell's dad, but from someone else who was working on set and who worked on another set prior to that set. And it was Disney, by the way. And it was Boy Meets World. And we all know, I think Rich Carell worked on Boy Meets World. Pretty positive. And so Rich and Beth have gotten now multiple complaints about Brian Peck and defended him. And, well, not only defended him, but never brought back the person who complained about Brian Peck, and then went so out of their way to write letters in defense of Brian Peck. And now they're apologizing. Oh my God, if we knew, you knew. You knew so much so that somebody else complained to you. Remember her, Dee Dee? And this is what I'm so tired of in this industry, is these people destroy people's lives. And then they write this little PR sorry that's super scripted and managed. And they just go on their merry way. They lie a little bit too. They say things like, if I would have known all the details. Beth, in your letter, you knew enough details. We got it. You knew a little too much, by the way. Instead of apologizing privately, which is the right thing to do, they gave like an exclusive. Now apologies are exclusive. Isn't that unbelievable? This is the den. This is Hollywood in a nutshell when it comes to enabling predatory behavior. It really upsets me. That's why, like, for example, like if we're here supporting survivors, like this is what I support all survivors. All survivors deserve to feel empowered. Power to survivors. When I see, for example, people within like a 24 to 48 hour period starting to harass survivors, blame them, victim blame them. This is why survivors don't come forward. People enable their predators, literally actively, like writing letters, defending them. And then you got people harassing survivors. It's honestly a horrible thing to witness. And that's why support survivors' stories. Support them coming forward about what happened to them. It's really important that we do, because survivors are constantly worried if people are going to actively support them. And if we don't, we send a message to everyone. We send a message to everyone.